You ought to be congratulated.
So tell me something about your interest in it.
Well, briefly, I'm on the board of 3 property companies. One's in the city, another is based in Bristol, and the third, the newest, is just making its presence felt here in Hampshire. Its chairman is a man called Charles Frere, and he's interested in shoreline development.
And that interest would include my garage and warehouse,
Well, let me be more precise. We're talking about 2 principal blocks of real estate holdings. Now, the buildings themselves mean nothing to us.
But they do constitute investment factors as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, indeed. However, the land itself, which is a sizable property...
For which I have planning permission.
Quite so. As I was about to say, your development permissions extend to the roadway bordering the eastern side of the holding, but preclude waterside development and infilling, which we would require.
Oh, I shouldn't let that worry you. There are ways and means.
There always are, Mr. Masters. I'm quite sure you know the ways. However, I hope you will not think me impertinent if I question whether you have the means. Now, the syndicate that I represent has. Together, we could probably arrive at a mutually agreeable arrangement.
Possibly. No, I wouldn't want to waste anybody's time, and if your Mr. Frere thinks he can buy me out just like that, then forget it, I'm not interested. But if we're talking about jointly exploiting the site as a marina, then I'd be very interested to meet Mr. Frere. Because I don't think you can move without my bit.
I don't know that I would go as far as to say that.
Oh, I would. You can't build either side because it's scheduled land. You can't build round it. I'm right in the middle. I think we need each other, Gerald. Don't you?
Where's Lynn?
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. She had the chance to go sailing. You know what she's like.
Anyway, it was sweet of you to come. Especially when you're so busy.
I felt it was time I thanked you properly for being such a help in the home.
Bit of cooking. Nonsense.
Well, it did make all the difference. And the family do love seeing you.
I don't know what I should do without my visits now.
I admit that your academic background is beyond question, far in excess of anything we should require. I don't meet many girls educated at Benenden and finishing school in Switzerland.
Well, it wasn't my
No,
choice.
no reproof is intended, I assure you. Just seems curious. You haven't answered my initial question, you know. Why do you want to work for social services?
It seems worthwhile. I mean,
Yes?
it's something that means something. I just feel I want to be useful.
Drat. Excuse me. My predecessor would have told you that doing good, helping others, or trying to, was not intended as a therapy for those needing help themselves. I'm not in a position to be so forthright. After the latest round of cutbacks, I'm grateful to have anybody, particularly if the money's not important to them. Does your family give you an allowance, or do you have independent means?
No. I was hoping to be paid.
Oh, I see.
Well, it doesn't have to be much.
When did you want to start?
Now? This afternoon, if you want.
This is delicious. You are clever.
85 pence at Nellie's pantry down the road.
I don't believe it.
As I live and breathe. Darling, I don't suppose you've heard yet, but you're bound to soon.
Heard? Heard what?
I had a guest here last night. All night. Jack Rolfe.
By the way, Charles Frere will be down here in a couple of weeks' time. I want to get you two together. I'll bring the accountant along, too. You may know him. Jimmy Deverill?
Deverill. I know the name, yes. Didn't he buy Tom Howard's boat?
I shouldn't believe everything you hear, old boy. He was just standing in for an interested party, eh? I'll give you a bell when I've spoken to Frere.
Yeah, right.
Bye-bye.
Cheerio. Dawn. Ken here. Listen, darling, I want to apologise for this morning. I was a little bit out of order, you know, and I've been thinking about it, and I thought perhaps you'd like to stay on for a couple of days till you got things sorted out, yeah? No, it's all right. And I wondered if you'd like to come out to dinner this evening. No problem at all. Listen, Dawn, darling, I wondered if you could do me a bit of a favour. Yeah, I'd like you to go into Fareham and call at an office for me.
So there I was, urging him to get off his backside and fight the good fight against his disloyal daughter and his wrong-headed partner. And all the time he was talking about your Tom and Avril Rolfe.
But when you told him who you were, how did he react?
He was thunderstruck at first. Then, to give him his due, he saw the funny side. We ended up having drinks and sandwiches at 2 this morning.
But does he really hate Tom?
Oh, no. Just wallowing in self-pity. And that's no good for man nor beast.
So, how was it left?
Well, he swore to live a godly, righteous and sober life in the future, for what that's worth. What does Tom feel about him?
I don't really know. We haven't discussed it.
Don't tell me you're not speaking.
No, it's not as bad as all that. Though we are a trifle wary of each other at the moment. Avoidance rather than confrontation is the order of the day. But sometimes it does flare up and then...
Darling, don't be too hard on him. He must be desperately worried about this step he's taken, not to mention the effect on his family.
Yes. Well, I suppose all relationships go through their bad patches.
Hello. Mr. Urquhart, it's Leo Howard. Did Abby leave an address where she could be reached? No, and you see, Abby... Yes, I understand that. Yes. Sorry to have bothered you. Good night.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming. You sail well.
Thank you. I had a great time. She's a lovely boat. I envy you. Sure there's nothing else I can do?
No, go on. We can put it to bed.
Okay.
Listen, do you fancy coming out again tomorrow?
Tomorrow? I'm supposed to be working. Oh, hang on a minute. I stood in for Maggie last Friday. Yes, I can get her to take it. I'd love to.
Good. Same time.
Great. See you tomorrow. Bye.
See you then.
Bye, James. Bye. Hello. Everybody out?
Unless you include me, yes. You smell good. Where have you been?
Alan Bay. Had a wonderful time. Phil Norton asked me to crew for him in the Mickey Mouse. She's beautiful.
Money does help.
We're going out again tomorrow if the weather's all right.
I thought you had a job.
My day off today, and I've managed to swap tomorrow afternoon with Maggie. Sounds like Mum's car. What's for dinner?
Don't ask me, ask her.
They didn't want to help at first. Asked her what my interest was. So I said I worked for Matthews Marine. Well, I did, didn't I?
Well, 6 years ago, yes, but who's counting?
And they weren't what you said they were either. They're solicitors.
Did you check the Marine Register?
Didn't have to. They had it all there, once I got them started. I think the old trout fancied me a bit, actually.
Yes, all right. Get on with it, Dom.
Yes, well, anyway, I made out like the previous owner had been negotiating for an engine.
An auxiliary engine.
That's what Matthews Marine sell, dummy. Anyway, they thought about it, and then they decided to come clean. It's all there, on the paper.
All right. Well, I can't read this scribble.
The document that was exchanged says J.D. Deverill, Mapleton Row, Chichester. But there was another document, bill of sale or something, which says this Deverill fellow was really an agent for someone else. And that's the person named in the register. See? Miss Avril Rolfe, Thatch Cottage, Tarrant.
Didn't I do well?
You did very well, dear.